Hello, how are you all doing? Let me just catch up on chat. Oh wow, there's lots of you here today already. My glasses are just reflecting, so I'll remove them for now. Yes, we are looking at the world ending. It's going to be great fun. Because, what is the most logical transition from a cozy mystery? And it is destroying the world. And trying to somehow fix it. So yeah. How many of you are writing out of interest, are doing anything sci-fi and that kind of vibes? Let me make share, publish. Yeah, how many of you are doing sci-fi? The dogs had too. Yeah, maybe it's all the dog's fault. Yeah, I kind of thought that sci-fi would be a really good like vibes to study because of well, like, yeah, oh, steampunk. I love steampunk. But yeah, I thought sci-fi was like a great way of like really fleshing out the codex and kind of doing some world building, because you don't really see that much in like some of the genres we've done so far, because they've kind of been set real world. So I kind of want to push the codex to its limits as much as we can. So yeah, like my kind of thoughts with this miniseries is to do sci-fi apocalypse, but to kind of have this a little bit as a prequel for something that I've been working on for like my baby for years and years. Like, I've got a novel that's like a dystopian fantasy. However, it starts with an apocalypse in real day Earth. So I thought, well, if we're doing a real day Earth apocalypse, could be cool backstory, so it could help me with that as well. We'll see. I will one day finish one of these books or series, but yeah. So all of these like techniques and stuff that we're doing are going to work just as well with fantasy or anything that's kind of or like historical or anything that's not like current everyday in a country that the AI knows about. So yeah, so we're gonna so what are my thoughts for today's stream? So we're gonna create an encyclopedia kind of thing of everything that we need to know world building wise for our apocalypse / post-apocalypse novel. We're going to use the codex alongside the chat to really like dig into potential stories and the world, so that we can kind of we can really get to grips with what's going on and show the power of having bits of information stored in the codex. And then we're going to decide on a premise for the novel. I've got a few ideas. Like, I kind of already know some bits, just because like when I set up an idea and then have 3 weeks to think about it, the Kate brain starts going before the AI. So we'll see how things go. But yeah, it's been like 3 weeks since our last session, which is crazy. I felt a loss actually not doing these lives, even though it was me that was away. But yes, so since our last session, there's been some cool new features. Some of my personal highlights is that we can now colour prose sections. You know, when you like can section something off. So like, if say you wanted to have like a colour code for anything that doesn't get included in the AI, you could like colour it red, and so then it means you always know that your red sections are kind of out of the way, and things like that. You can also like quick copy the prose within it, so it's like, little bits of like convenience. I love things that make my life easier. Like, they make life easier. There's also been some tweaks to the system prompt, so it now goes from 900 words to 400. So it just means that there's less chance of it kind of going on and on and on, especially with models like Opus and stuff that are quite pricey. Obviously, if you didn't notice that, you might be wondering why suddenly less is coming out. So just, keep an eye out on that. And yeah, you can always clone the system prompt, as in my most recent video, and just like change it back if you prefer that. The Claude 3 models have been added, and I think a lot of us have found that is like a complete game changer. Like, it's so fun. I really want to try pushing Opus because I've not actually found, I prefer Sonnet to Opus so far, so I'm gonna have a play around. I need to find this love for Opus that everyone has. And then also block quotes for, you know, oh, what is one of the books? Was it the new Ali Hazelwood book that had like the start of every chapter there was like one line from the male love interest or something like that. There was like a book that had, but basically that kind of thing. You can put like little quotes in into your book. Um, so yeah, they're the cool features. Let's check chat. Oh yes, no, I had a good well, it was kind of like a staycation. Like it was just I had 2 weekends where either family were visiting or I was visiting family, and so I just wasn't around a stable internet connection for a stream. I'd kind of spoiled you all with my lack of life prior. Um yeah, so okay. So I've shared the document with y'all. We'll stick it in the description for those of you that aren't watching live. Hit me up with a comment if we haven't done it yet. But yeah, so since our last session, aims, introduction. Okay, so sci-fi is like a really good way of like pushing the Codex to its extremes, particularly Apocalypse, because like there's just gonna be like lots of, to be fair, any sci-fi, but yeah, there's lore and history, there's new technologies, tribes, communities, like even new hierarchical systems, changes to the environment, new religious beliefs and culture that might come from the apocalypse. The list goes on. So we might also want like a timeline of events pre-post-apocalypse, like for kind of our general knowledge. You'd probably want to include maps or indications of new geography, allegiance, that kind of stuff. In this session, we're going to try and make, we're going to turn the Codex into an encyclopedia for this new world and see how far we can push Novelcrafter's capabilities within world building. We'll be flipping between the Codex and the chat interface, using one and the other to build each other up. Additionally, due to popular demand, we are going to be fitting a dog in. So dogs have to survive in some form. Dogs and probably humanity, and I guess cockroaches. They are the three things that are definitely surviving this apocalypse. So yeah, first of all, I'm going to kind of go into a bit of detail on the resources that are already built into Novelcrafter that I think are going to be helpful with this. There may turn out to be more. This is kind of me at the beginning, like when I was thinking pre-world building. So custom categories. Actually, wait. Okay, I think first we're going to have to make the novel because I've not done that yet. Let's go. Only dogs left. You can also now select pen names. So that's cool. I'm going to stick it in my Lock and Key series because that's similar vibes. Well, I mean, I guess, like, you know, what if the protagonist is called Cat? And that way cats survive. No. Well, cats can survive. Pets survive. Like, let's be real. Humanity, no matter what they do about each other, they're going to take their pets with them when they, like, escape. Like, pets will unlikely be the unlikely survivors. And, like, you see all those videos of, like, dogs looking after cats and cats looking after dogs. Like, don't worry, pets survive. Animals, like, don't get shot on by humanity. They all thrive. You know, we'll see how things go. But yeah, so we have, if you go to the Codex and then the little cog item, we have Codex categories. So we can make one of these, and within it we can put people, lore, objects, you know, all that kind of good stuff. So we can kind of make, so custom categories allow you to group things together in like different umbrellas. So if, say, we had two warring civilizations, you might put them as two categories, and within that you'll have like the people within the tribe, but you'd also have their own like creation lore, hierarchies, that kind of stuff. So and they might be completely different. So it's good to have those kind of like subgroups. So as we go about, we're going to put those in. So that was something that I felt would be good. Chat extraction, saving yourself from copying and pasting, quick ways of making new codex entries, and the like. So we'll get to properly play around with those. Snippets for if you want to save larger bits of text, notes to self, questions that you think about. We can also pin them to one side, so it means you can kind of have an easy reference. And kind of following on from that, split view is like invaluable for world building. I guess you could even have like two chats going, not going at the same time, but you could have two chats, like one as a reference, if you wanted to like look back on stuff. So we could totally use, so going into the stream, I have very little idea of how I'm going to like structure all this. So we're going to kind of play about with it together. So if any of you have any ideas, let me know. Like, I really do appreciate all your suggestions and the like. Apologies if my voice is a little hoarse. Like, I've been recovering from a cold for the past couple of weeks as well. So that's also why the videos, I've had a very husky voice in recent videos. So I've got a couple of world building prompts I'm going to try out. So I've kind of edited the general purpose prompt on prompts. Space. So I've got a world building prompt here where I've copied and pasted that into here. So you're a helpful expert assistant to a novel author. They're going to ask you questions. You have expertise in these things. Just to try and kind of prime it a bit more. So we'll see how that goes. Everything else is the same as the general purpose prompt, however. I kind of thought, oh, wait, cats are now evil. No, cats are terrifying. Cats have like taken over our street recently. Like, it's crazy. There was like, it's a new street, and like 2 years ago there were no cats, and suddenly it's like there's 3, and you see them occasionally in your garden, like asking to be let in, and you're like, no, we don't have any food for cats. I don't know if you can have dog treats or not. Yes, I'm detouring, distracting myself. So, the apocalypse itself. So yeah, the first thing I thought, like, if you're going to do an apocalypse fiction or like any kind of sci-fi fiction, you want to kind of work out what the catalyst behind it all is. Like, what made people go and terraform a new planet? So, like, is it because Earth's overpopulated or whatever? But you want to kind of get that core event that kicks off the apocalypse. Now, I'm kind of thinking, so even before all this, I'm kind of thinking some kind of magically induced ice age. However, we're going to start by doing some prompting, having a look at the new Sonnet model, and we're going to use things. So I thought something that'd be interesting to do first is to play around with asking chat. So we're going to go world building Sonnet and ask what apocalypse events that kick off are seen commonly in novels, because like I don't want anything that's too used. So I was kind of like, okay, well, what have other authors done as things that set off the apocalypse? So I've asked for 20 examples. I'll pop these into the Notion document as well, so don't worry about that. Okay, so nuclear holocaust, weaponized pandemic, the sun has scorched the earth, pandemic, nuclear, pandemic, nuclear, outside world is toxic, unnamed event, so kind of some kind of man-made disaster, pandemic, cataclysm, nuclear. Oh, okay, so Snowpiercer, an attempt to stop global warming causes an ice age that kills most life. I kind of now want to read that book. Infection, nuclear war. Okay, external attack, chemicals, environment. Okay, so it seems that like most of the time it's either people have caused something, or it's a pandemic. There's a few mentions of like nature kind of doing stuff. Yeah, let's copy that. Yeah, I've never heard of Snowpiercer before, so I think I'm gonna have to put it. Yeah, sarcastic chick. I agree with you. A very big bad thing happened. Um, so then I'm gonna ask, given this research, because I've kind of primed it. Suggest 20 different ways. Cool. Was that one of the? Ah, okay. Oh, I will have to start looking up some of these books. Okay. I tried this prompt out on GPT, and like 3 of its suggestions were AI related, causing the apocalypse, and I was like, wow, okay, getting a bit ahead of yourself there. Yeah, again, Sonnet. AI turns against humanity. Nanobots, gamma ray burst, alien invasion, experimental particle accelerator incident. Oh, I remember. Oh, do you guys remember 2012 when CERN were doing the doing everything? Like that was everyone was like crazy scared that antimatter would. Yeah. Okay, synthetic bio climate, bioweapon, cosmic event, nuclear war. Oh my god, another AI. Interdimensional rift, zombie apocalypse, robotic uprising, solar flare, alien terraforming, time travel paradox, virtual reality glitch, mutant plagues, colony ship failure, antimatter, contaminant breach. Okay, so interesting to see things. So I'm gonna say, I would like to write a model model a novel where the apocalypse or the by an ice age. Here is where I'm going to quickly and then I'm going to say what would be a potential time frame for such an event should it begin today through an unspecified event that quickens said ice age beginning. I'm going for just an unspecified event. We can work that out, but it really doesn't matter in a way what actually causes this event, because so much time will have passed, people will have their own beliefs, so we can play around with what people perceive to be the cause. So we'll have a go. Answer. I will start off by giving you the answer. Okay, super glitches and okay, I'm just copying and pasting that so you can all read along with me. I will kind of like give a TLDR. Right. Year 1, the initial event occurs perhaps a cosmic impact, nuclear winter, or runaway climate feedback loop involving melting permafrost. Global temperatures begin to drop rapidly. The northern and southern polar ice caps expand, sea levels drop. Interesting that coastal cities are submerged. I don't know where the logic is in that. I would have to look it up. Growing seasons shortened drastically, leading to crop failures and famine in some regions. And that would be especially like in the northern regions or like Western countries as well. Because I was looking at like a map of the world, and the equator is like, I always thought the equator was higher than it was. But yeah, okay, years 6 to 10, glaciers start advancing, northern Europe, Canada, Russia, parts of northern US become uninhabitable, so mass migration towards the equator. Makes sense. Oh yeah, the Gulf Stream. The tragic thing about that was if global warming got rid of the Gulf Stream, we would just get more miserable weather. It would be wetter and kind of not as extreme. So we would just get flooding. We wouldn't get any heat. Okay. Years 11 to 20, the glaciers continue, covering most of North America and Europe, and I guess Australia and stuff. A narrow band around the equator. Civilization begins to collapse. Ice sheets cover 50% of landmass. Reaches as far south as Madrid, Kansas City, and Beijing. The last warm refuges cannot support. Most surface life dies off. Small bands of nomadic humans eke out an existence, sheltering in caves and exploring the frozen wastelands. Years 51 to 100, the worst case scenario of full planetary ice age with ice sheets extending outwards, covering 90% of the Earth's surface. Only narrow subarctic regions near the equator remain hospitable, with geothermal activity providing the last pockets of warmth. Humanity clings to survival in these final readouts, struggling to keep its history and knowledge alive. Okay, I like this. So I was thinking that this story could be some kind of like journey story. So like, maybe there's like people tasked with like every few years tasked with going out and like taking measurements or some kind of data collection from the hubs in near the equator. And so the main character is kind of like going out and exploring this kind of like new wasteland. And then maybe like meets other like kind of groups of people that have survived in these conditions and kind of have chosen to stay in these Arctic places. And kind of things like that, I was thinking. So I guess the story would start around the equator and move either northwards or southwards, depending on what we decided. I guess it'd be cool to see like old cities and stuff. But you know, that was my thoughts initially. Like kind of, I am, however, let's see what extracting this does. Okay, I thought it would have tried to extract more of the year's space. Do you know why it isn't? Okay, so let's... Okay, I'm gonna create a custom category of timeline. That would be brown. Timeline slash theory. Oh, no worry. You know, that's my job to find the bugs through spending far too much time on this. So yeah, so ideally in the extract feature, it would have had all of these kind of on there. So I'm going to call this just lore tags. Oh, damn it. I'm just going to tag this as T for timeline. You can see now it's already been taken into the timeline slash history. And also, if, say, I wanted to select entry, I could take that no-named one and replace it all with this. So I will do that. I'm going to play around with this a little bit, but I just wanted to show you how it worked. So I'm going to go into more kind of like playing around, but do any of you have any thoughts about our apocalypse? Again, you can see every time I give the tag T, it goes. Oh, and you can see also it's now getting mentioned in the Codex because years yada yada are included. Oh, a little bit annoying that that's. Yeah, that's fine. I'll deal with alphabet. Years 11 to 20. 21 to 50. Chat on. Okay. And now I'm going to go for what would a likely population be after such an event? Please base your thoughts on a. Please base your thoughts on the potential for food growth, land conditions, and space for different civilizations. Let's have a look at that. So yeah, what percentage of the global population do we imagine surviving? I think it'd be more than hundreds or thousands. I think maybe it'd be maybe millions, I guess. But we're gonna have a look, see what it. Okay. With glaciers covering majority of arable land, very little agriculture. Yeah, global supply chains would have collapsed long before. I mean, I can imagine that based on a cynic's approach to the world, I can imagine that the millionaires and billionaires have probably would have probably have built some kind of gated community for themselves, and their paramours, and families, and kind of ordered a lot of technology, like anything that's like solar or wind powered and stuff. Because I guess there'd still be sun, it's just not hot. So I can imagine that there's a very big, like a very sharp kind of like imbalance between those who kind of hoarded things ready for that and those who didn't. Like buying out land. Like I bet as soon as this ice age started, someone will have bought lots of land along the equator to make like a thing. Like someone will have been prepared from like year 5 and like built an entire thing. Like I can imagine. Um okay, so saying given the dire circumstances, it's conceivable that the total surviving human population could be around 20 to 100,000. A few million if they were able to maximize food production, but overall it would lead to a population bottleneck. Okay, so very interesting. I'm going to say that some technology still exists because there is some like even like turbines and stuff. Like I bet you there are people clever enough that like you couldn't do it on a large scale, but I bet you there would be stuff. Okay. Um, how would I? I think I'm going to add this into here. Right. Yep, 20,000 millionaires who have nothing to spend their money on. And kind of regretting not investing around the equator because all of their like pockets were around. But yeah, I think I think there would be lots of kind of like hodgepodge communities, and then like one kind of primary civilization. Um, Black Blade. I believe you've only listed two things there. Yeah, so one main civilization of the rich and technological, and then other outposts, because they would have to rely, I think, on like, even just in terms of like population, they would need to rely on other people, like new blood coming in, and so I can imagine there would be like a lot of scouting going on for like, talented individuals. So there'd be no electricity for the majority, but I feel like there would be some in this like one hub. The population is now in the range of 20,000 to 100. And well, that's why the millionaires have to like bring in some help. Like, they still need people to do the work for them. They're just the ideas people, right? They're enabling these other people to survive, and so the other people help them survive. Um, okay. I'm starting to get like a really clear idea of this world, and we've only done like 3 questions to the AI. Like, this is really like starting to build. Um, okay, so I think my next question is going to be, in this world, the richest people began to prepare in the first few years of the Ice Age and bought up land near the equator. How might a how might civilization progress through the initial 100 years, given a small group of wealthy and well connected individuals preparing, but not necessarily sharing their. Yeah. Well, oh my god. Every story is this, yeah, goes back to the same. Okay, let's see what the AI comes up with. Mm. Older regions become uninhabitable, billions of refugees attempt to flee south, but only those with money connections can buy their way into the elite enclaves. Armed conflicts break out against the starving masses. The equatorial population stabilizes into a rigid class system. The wealthy elite, ruling class. Oh yeah, servant, serf, worker, underclass, and nomadic outsider tribes. Yeah, that's kind of how I was envisioning. Um, I'm guessing like wealth. Yeah, we'll have to see what does wealthy mean. I guess wealthy would mean the land and food you've got, which I guess was bought in the initial bits. Maybe there's like multiple cities that like there's a few cities kind of like dotted around, and then outside the cities there's kind of like people trying to survive. And then, yeah, I mean, to be fair, this was post-apocalyptic, like, or apocalyptic. What the individual story is going to be hopeful. I swear. Um. Okay, so yeah, food and water. So those who secured, yeah, I guess like because like I guess even like if you think seeds are often like grown in like green, like separate. They're not just you've got to get them. So yeah, seeds, fertilizer. God, trading human labor. Like, yeah, this is getting dark very quickly. Yeah, I wonder what they would do for like weapons. Yeah, this is going to take way longer than 2 hours. My husband is currently at work, so at least I've got like a bit more time. So we'll see. Um, if not, I could always do some brainstorming just like casually. Um, like I don't know, on Discord or on here or something. If people wanted to join in with just me building an apocalyptic world. Um, oh my god, I love the idea that like luxury resources, like they have like a stockpile of Cadbury's chocolate or something, like something that's really like not cheap but like reasonably priced, but is like a luxury. So not even like drugs and art, just chocolate, coffee, things that grow in the heat. Um, okay. Okay, so we won't use extract for now. Okay. Oh my god, how are we going to start putting this together? Add these bits to uh yeah, I'm going to focus on a single location. So okay, let's make a decision, everyone. How many years after this apocalyptic event are we going to have this story? We're going to focus on one of these cities, um, characters within one of these cities. Um, yeah, or there probably there probably also maybe be some like in the islands, like the. Wait, not do this on. Wait, let me zoom out enough so that my home location isn't shown. Or just if I go world map. Okay, yeah. So we have the wow. Is there any with the like an equator line? Yes. Open image, a new tab. Okay, so we've got a world map here with the equator line. So yeah, so some South America, um, the middle of Africa, and the islands, the Pacific Islands, um, would probably be the main bits. Okay, well, let's go 100 years into the apocalypse then. We'll have a think about the actual location. I guess not that it won't matter, but I guess, like, we can keep it vague for now. Yeah. Although the land will be frozen over. So, okay. So, please please generate 3. Oh, actually. So, when I was doing this world building doc, who was it? JC Cleaver on Discord made some prompts for stuff, and this is the document attached. So I'm going to try this out. Okay. And then I'm going to call this post. This. I'm making a world document just with like the bits that I want. I'll include that. Well. Okay, it must be named story genre. I will make that change. Right. Okay. Let's instead pin new chat. Prompts. I know this doesn't have... Okay, so I'm going to have to edit this because I know that there isn't... I think that your Novelcraft, your system, yeah, has major cities. Wow, what has happened with those? Step 1, 2, 3. God, that's gone weird. Let's... Okay. Well, let's see if it works. We'll give it a go, because why not? That's what we're here to do. If not, I'll just do it manually. Okay, let's, what should we call this first? Okay, I want you to give me, ideas for a name of this first city, and where it might have originally come from, / who designed it. Star Wars. Let's... Okay. Let's do a location. We didn't decide, no. I kind of thought it would just be based on, like, for now, maybe just, oh. Oasis Kinshasa. What's the, I'm just putting New York for now as a placeholder. Okay, let's see this. So, step 1, historical background. New York was founded several decades after the apocalyptic Ice Age event began. Where is Richmond, Virginia? Yeah, basically. Oh, Montrose. There's a Montrose in Scotland. Okay, I was recognizing place names there from Hannibal. Okay. That's really not as south as I thought it was going to be. Yeah, no. So that didn't quite work, but okay, well, let's just ignore the fact that it's saying Richmond, Virginia, because that would not be a... Yeah, I mean, I was thinking folks would name it after them, but then I was like, oh god, we don't want, like, Muskville or something. Or, like, you know... Okay, so we'll ignore the Richmond bit. Descended from the Wheat... Okay. Okay, well, let's... okay, generate names for the equivalent of our new New York, as I'm kind of, writing this. Let's not go for Richmond. Okay, well, let's go... The equator, come on, Google, give me an equator. Okay, I'm gonna go with they bought um they bought land in the Amazon rainforest and destroyed a lot of trees to build like their wooden paradise. Uh Deep Amazon. Found his aim to resurrect. Okay, well, some of these things I think not quite so much. Like, I don't think they're gonna have lavish. Maybe they would. Yeah, lots of water things, and also like they could build that without like, especially like once technology starts going down, like you're not gonna be seen by many people. Like, it's gonna be hard to get to, even if like when the trees start dying, there's still gonna be trees around. And like I feel like that's probably an area you could buy land and like not be noticed for a while. Approximate line on Ecuador. Okay, so yeah. So presumably the wow, that was a very tiny bit of land you're giving me for the Amazon rainforest. Okay. Okay, but the state of Amazonas is yeah, so that makes sense. It's near the equator. Yep, that kind of fits what I was wanting. So we'll go for that. Feels weird to be writing something on like the American continents. Um just because it's I guess it's like one of those things that you always like even like in history and stuff, like when you're taught stuff, it's more based on the stuff near you. Okay, the rich are keeping their lavish lifestyle. Oh, ritualized punishments. God. Um, I guess you could probably get like look, the burning library. God, irony. Oh my god, a gladiator arena. Dudes. Okay, well, some of these names are a little bit like Kira. I'm pretty sure is like a very AI name. Um, Earth's colder climate reduced the Amazon into isolated patches of rainforest. That would make sense. I'm kind of curious to see if it would extract the people. Okay, interesting. We have got places there and some of these people. Okay, so I'll have a look at those in a sec. I'm just Okay, let's have a look at the characters it's suggested. So generic rich dude. Gardener. Okay, warden. Okay. I mean, I'm not sure about Rathskeller, but you know, I'm happy to kind of keep these in for now. But yeah, the extract tool, as I was hoping, is going to be game changing because I can just click save entries, and suddenly, look at all this beautiful addition. Yeah, oh my god, they made gladiators. I'll probably like, you know, work on names, but that is a good start. There's some cool stuff. I'm kind of now imagining, kind of inspired by like the 100, or other things. Like I'm imagining kind of like a maybe they send criminals out to do the like to do the kind of dirty work. Um like to find new things. I'm kind of almost imagining this a bit like Noah's Arky. Or maybe there's something like left in one of the old refuges that the boss wants, like an item they think is like exists or something. So we can have a think about that. Oh, to Daniel, who is asking about script stuff. The kind of idea going forward is that we're gonna have like a 1 hour stream on like this story, um, and a 1 hour stream on like individual like one-off topics, and script writing will be one of those. Um, just waiting until we've kind of got like the plan sorted. There'll also be one on like making stuff in a sequel and that kind of jibe. So we'll yeah, do that. Okay, well I know what the high concept pitch I'm kind of, or like ideas for. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like imagining something like a story that starts within this city and then kind of travels out and up through the, I guess through like where Mexico is and stuff, and like tries to like go to the US to get something, collect something from there in order to do something. Um what do you guys think? Do you have any ideas? Um I'm just gonna go quickly and grab a glass of water. So yeah, let me know your thoughts for like story stuff down below, and I will be right back. Okay, maybe the protagonist is scavenging and finds some ancient artifact that allows them to challenge the person in power. You know, that could work. Oh my god, what if they find a mobile phone? They're scavenging and they find like something that has some kind of secret on it. So I'm going to just switch to my normal world building sonnet. Please give me 20 other characters that may live in this city. Oh my god, imagine if like on the journey, oh, what about, okay, guys, what about if on the journey, if they're like traveling through the Arctic, they find a, um, yeah, like an old like, bunker from like an apocalypse hoarder, and like some creature killed the guy, but there's like loads of like spam and like just like tin food and stuff there. uh, Oh my god, maybe, yeah, maybe this. Oh my god, okay, right. So Jeff Bezos is the lead, is the original founder of this, and he saw the irony in having his secret city being in the Amazon. Um, I think that would probably take it too much into the fantasy realm, Jean-Luc. I quite like Hemistoa. Ha, Bezosberg. I like Hemistoa. New Bezos. Maybe like jokingly, like colloquially. Oh, I like that. Nova. Oh, could just call the town Alexa. And then I looked over to my device, being like, "Oh, have I just accidentally set off everyone's devices?" Okay, so I've got the two names because I'm not entirely sure which angle I'm going to go down, but that's funny. I like it. Let's look at those characters that we were looking at. Nueva Bezos. Maybe, oh my god, maybe like those devices are kind of like a spy device. They're actually a spy device in every house. Although we might be going a bit 1984 there. I think we also need to think how big this city is, because if we're thinking that only 20 to 100,000 people survived, there might only be like one city in the Amazon, like on South America, one in Africa and one kind of Australasia way. Like, it might not actually be have like a city population. There's probably not that many people. So trying to then think of like how many people in each class. Quite hard. Spiritual enlightenment and city maintenance. The fact they call them like an artificer, where it's like a mechanic in today's world. I quite like the idea of a hacker. I suppose like depending on what we want to do with the story, you could have like very different stories all with the same town. Oh my god, just the tech companies. Well, I suppose the tech companies do have all the tech. Um, Maybe there's also like an oil-based one, or like the oil barons pair up with tech giants in order to do it. I mean, there are still going to be things like that in, and this is Claude is deciding all this. It's crazy. Um, so one way we could do this. Okay, I'm gonna go. Well, building. Sonnet. Information. Can I do space? Can I do like things in this, or do I have to do it in even that snippet docker? Actually, I will out of that. I'm rather okay. It's not possible, right? Let's go to world building copy. I'm going to change the instructions. Uh, what was it called? Okay. going to take in, ideally, the world thing. I'm going to have to change New York to... This is where the whole copy paste would be amazing. This is after Nuevo? Yeah, I just realised that. Nueva versus Nuevo. Oops. Okay. Okay. Nuevo because masculine. I will change that all after I've done this, because otherwise I'm going to have to go through everything and I don't have the time for that in my life. Please generate 10 high concept. I kind of almost need oh, Nova is a new... Okay. We'll work out the city name after. I want to make a new... Okay, let's see how this does. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, typical poor I will have a go. Okay, let's have a go. After this, I'll have a look at what suggestions. Let's... Prompt, new chat. I will build and copy Haiku. Oh, sorry guys. Just plugging my laptop in charge. Yeah, Bezos will have maybe he just like threatened to stop delivering stuff, and people were like, "Oh shit, we need our cold weather gear." Okay, let's have a look at the different stories. So, this is Sonnets. So the first one seems very much to be like a kind of a general like young adult novel in this scenario. Like I can imagine having read this. Oh wow, okay. Teaming up of two rich guys. Um let's actually as well, if I open up, I'm just gonna have a little look and see what the price of those last two messages were. So for Sonnet, that was let's for the same data. Um that's two rich guys working together. Um that's a bit like I mean feels a bit Hunger Gamesy, but I'm not mad at that idea. Um oh my god, she has a secret clone. Oh my god, you could have so many stories set in this city already. This is crazy. Sorry, I'm not talking. Just like if you read alongside me, I guess that'll probably be easiest just while I'm going through. I'd love to know, like, if you just like say the numbers or what the names were, like which ones you're enjoying. Like, okay, that feels very much like the first. Yeah, the first one from Sonnet. So that feels very Game of Thronesy. Okay, I'm interested. It's interesting that so many of them are similar between sonnet and haiku. Yeah, they have Spartacus as well. Oh, the prophetic visions as well. Oh, interesting. So sonnet had Cephas as a guy. Haiku has put her as a woman. Yeah, the AI saves humanity. Um, in the biggest irony that we have. Yeah, I'm gonna ask now. Please give me. Um, yeah, haiku is fast. Like, um, yeah, if you've anyone's got any favorites, let me know. Oh my god, I love a heist. I love a heist. Post-apocalyptic sci-fi heist. Trying to get technology from. Um, I'd probably avoid anything with a private investigator, just because it's similar to what I've already got in the actual books. um, I like that because you could have some kind of like the engineering, you could have threats, whether or not they actually try and prevent it. Also like that. Hydronic, yeah. I do like the idea that um, either there's like outsiders within this continent or there's cities from other regions that kind of influence. '28, '23, '21. Yeah, I feel like you could almost have like the catastrophic event happening at the end of the first book and then it continues on. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of if, say, we were going to do this as a series, having like something in the first book trigger the catastrophic event that then causes them to have the exodus. Like, say if we were going to combine the archaeology heist. You could have like the heist as the first one, and then whatever they steal in the first thing then causes the issues that mean they have to do the exodus and kind of go around, maybe. And so then in the sequel they then have to band together, because it could be that they break some technology, or they steal something that's essential to the running, or something like that. Or you could tie it in with, to be fair, you could tie it in with the hydroponics restoration, because maybe there's like this side plot of them, of these botanists trying to revitalize the gardens and being stopped. And so it's kind of like there's multiple little stories within the same bigger plot, and they kind of converge. Okay, so let's see how I would like to combine the hydroponics restoration. Exactly. Like they kind of don't see that the ruler had whatever needing that actually kind of helped the whole city function. Like it reminds me of like when the Romans left Britain, and the locals out of spite destroyed everything, including like plumbing systems, and so we didn't have plumbing systems for another, like, you know, many centuries. Spelling today is atrocious. Okay. Oh, look how quick this is. Okay. And that, okay, so that last message had 6,000 tokens input, 1,000 token output, and was still 0.00278 cents. Crazy. See, that kind of makes me think, oh, what if like at some point the hydro gardens are like held hostage, and then it kind of works. Let me send you all the combinations. Yeah, Haiku I'm impressed with. There are the 10 combination ideas. Okay, so not this idea, but I like the idea of maybe like there's growing unrest in the Hydro Gardens, there's a brutal crackdown, and that's why the heist is needed. Maybe. Okay. There are definitely some ideas. Here, I'm gonna have a think about this. However, let's go back to the world building aspect and play around with that in Haiku because I think actually this is really good. So let's. Okay, let's see. So I'm asking it to give me categories so then I can start populating this. So, okay, I'm going to ask what might the layout of Nueva Bezos look like, given its past and uh, I'm kind of maybe like imagining putting the codex into different sections, like areas. That might be how I would do it for this story. You can see here, that's because it's the same name, it's already there. So I might change this in new entry. Like names can be changed after. Um, yeah, how are you all doing? Like, do any of you, what do you do while watching the streams? Like, do you have them on in the background while you're doing other stuff? Do you sit and watch religiously and make notes? I don't know. What do you guys do while the stream's on? I appreciate you fixing the extraction bug space. Um, so now I've got those different districts. I can make. Oh, that's a search. Outlining, sitting and watching and feeding the cat. Always good things to do. Taking notes. Oh. Yeah, like if you guys like find anything through trying out and you find out anything new that you want to share or like stick it on the Discord. Like I like half the time I'm there like asking you guys like what kind of stuff do you do and like seeing it all like then helps inspire me to then think of new ways of using Novelcrafter. So yeah, haikus I'm like I wouldn't use it for writing prose, but I've not to be fair, I've not done any brainstorming since haiku's come out just because I'm mid novel, so um and like it's a sequel, so I already know like all the back stuff. So no, this is really cool, and I'm very impressed, especially with like how much you can feed it. Okay, that's gonna be called AC. In fact, I love having live streams on in the background when I'm working. I guess not while like making videos and stuff, but while doing like other work. Like it really just sometimes like you get like ideas and it really helps. Genesis. Scroll down. Oh, I think that's just the public amenities, so that's not a section. Servant habitats. I need a different name for servant habitats, and yeah. So at the moment, what I'm doing is putting in the tags of the different districts, so then it'll get taken to the district. I'll show you in a sec. Um, it's just general world. For putting the right bed. There. Okay. And then I can also put characters in. So I'm just gonna. I think I'm actually adding a new custom category of. Well, one left. Of the city of whoever Bezos. That I can put. Okay. I'm gonna like do a very quick like popping of characters and everything into where I feel they would be, just to kind of get an idea of how I would organize for this story. Um, just see if there's anyone else that would be in the AC. Strict. To be honest, I might just call the servant habitats the Undercity. I feel that feels a little bit more. There is like the bit, and then there's the other bit. Undercity. Okay, amazing. And then there's like the middle people, which maybe go into the Genesis district or the. Okay, so it seems like these districts are food thingy, and then there's like living. Is there a middle class? Okay, guys, I need your help. Is there a middle class? And if so, where do they stay? Do we have a middle class? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So I guess maybe even like the overseers and stuff. Do you think they would live in the Undercity, or do you think they would live in the like the wardens? Do you think they live in the upper city then, or the Undercity? Yeah, like they're privileged, but would they where would they reside? Like, um, oh, people are replying right, good. Yeah, moderate with some better quarters in the Undercity. Okay, so basically either slightly better in the upper city or the lowest in the up. I'm going to say that the lowest in the upper city because that way you can kind of because you probably still would have servants in there and like it means there's more defense, there's more people to get more people for rebellions to get through to get to them. I guess it's like, yeah, they're kind of like, they're middle class, but they're skilled workers. They're classed as like, yeah, um technically be in the AC. He'd probably be in, wait, no, he wouldn't even be in the Undercity. He would be in the periphery zone. Actually, what about okay, so you can see like what I've got now. I've got my different districts grouped together. And then like there's the timeline of the history, got the Undercity, and then I think that would be in the AC. And so by like grouping everything together by like the location, you can kind of like, if you're writing a section, you know the people that you're most likely to see, and kind of various other things. I like that. Overseers, the ones you decided to turn on fellow folks, they could have the, yeah. They're the going for money, not friends. So what would life be like for those who live in the Undercity? Would this differ? And if so... Okay, now it's generated, I can read it. Okay, so it's taken this and it's kind of expanded on it nicely. Okay, so the servant underclass, skill technicians, outcasts and exiles. That makes more sense. Oh, amazing. Okay, right, so I would extract... I guess law. They're not characters, but it's like groups of people. So then I would add that attack the periphery zone, I think it was. Also, wait, I can just... Dead. Servants, UC. And then these would be in AC. Oh, okay, no. Oh, thank you, Blackblade. Blackblade says, I love the layout you've chosen. I can really see this paying off as the book is written. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping that, like, through doing all this kind of, like, making this encyclopedia of knowledge, we're kind of, like, slowly fleshing everything out so that it's very easy to call upon when we start writing and plotting the novel. Like, we've got some vague ideas of the novel, but think... Okay, I've just noticed the time. It's almost 5. What do you guys think? Like, do you want to spend, like, another session or so world building, kind of, like, really delving into this? What do you think? Oh yeah, Corey, yeah, no, that's true. Because there were so few serfs, they could afford to demand better working conditions from the landowners. They could, so rather than being tied to the land, they could then go around and like go for the whoever would give them, yeah, pay them the most. But yeah, so would you like to do another world building session in the next stream? Anything else? Um, we probably have enough to start getting an idea. Maybe like we could maybe do plotting in conjunction, or we could like go into the nitty gritty of the city, kind of like currency, general life, kind of like get those little bits, even if we don't use everything. Um, and if you did want another world building session, what kind of stuff would you want me to cover? I guess. Oh yeah, world building can be a rabbit hole. But to be fair, given that there was like the instructions and like the introductions and stuff, this an hour and a half of world building is not that much for a story, I guess. But although with AI it does help a lot. Like I am going to go up and go off when off stream and probably clean up some of this. Um, okay, yeah. So next session we'll do some we'll do world building in conjunction with plot. I will. So we've kind of got a rough. So like in this session, we've kind of got a rough idea of like where we want the story to be set and kind of like a vague idea of what the story will be. However, we need to kind of like work out how we want it to fit in, what characters we want. There may be some characters that kind of got generated here that we're just going to get rid of. There may be others that we bring in. So have a think and like yeah, get back to me with any ideas, questions, and the like. And yeah, I think we've really got something here, like a good kind of like world building basis, and yeah, and just kind of see what's happening. Um, yeah, and hopefully we'll have some new features to play around with as well. No pressure. Um, I'm going to be releasing some new videos next week as well, so that should go well. And yeah, we'll see how this all goes. And I will see you all next week, unless anyone has any questions. Yeah, is there anything else you want putting on the document as well? Let me know. I can pull some stuff over. And go and check out JC Cleaver's world building system. Works really well. Oh, you're welcome, guys. I will see you soon. Bye.